Namaste everybody. Welcome to another class on Yoga Vidya. Now, uh, I have been, as you all know, I always ask for feedback. And so I'm going to start the class today again by revisiting everything that we have done. Today we are going to start with another part, which is actually which I spoke about last class, but which should be done first in every time you start the practice. That is to increase the flexibility of the body. So I request you all to stand up, and we will do the unlimbering exercise. So I'm going to ask you all to first rotate the eyes clockwise, then anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise slowly, anti-clockwise slowly. It's very important for you to remember that this that we are doing is only for the purpose of pranayama. It is only to make the body, the nadis open so that pranayama is easier to experience. The second thing that I'm going to ask you all to do is to turn your head clockwise around the neck, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Now, please turn the shoulders clockwise 3 times, slowly, anti-clockwise 3 times, slowly. Okay. Now, when you do this, what you're actually doing is only making the body, the muscles more flexible. Now, for people who have, say, cervical spondylosis and this and that, I'm going to teach you all basically to do resistance exercise. Use the muscles of the neck to resist against the pressure of the hand. So, using the pressure of the hand, push the head back and forward. When you take it back, use the head to resist. When you bring it forward, use the hand to resist. So the hand will resist, will try to overcome the resistance of the head while going up, and the head will overcome the resistance of the hand when coming down. Similarly, use the head to resist, hand to resist. Head to resist, hand to resist. Head to resist, hand to resist. Now you use the chin. Back. Head to resist, hand to resist. Head to resist, hand to resist. Now, last class, somebody had said that they have pain in the hand when they are doing Nadi Shuddhi. So this exercise is for people who have pain when doing Nadi Shuddhi, and it is a simple resistance exercise. You use one hand on top of the other. Use one hand to resist and bring the other up. Use that same hand to resist and take it down. Use the hand to resist and bring it up. Use the same hand to resist and go down. Then turn it around. Again, resist, resist back. Resist, resist back. Resist, resist back. And then, because the abdomen is a very important part of the pranayama, we will simply do this so that the hips start opening out, and when you sit in Padmasana, it is free. It is not rigid and stressed out. So we can now sit down. Are there any questions or are there any doubts? Can you all please ask so that I can go to the next point? We can actually start the pranayama. Hanji.
I just want to ask you one question, sir, that while rotating the neck or the head, you are putting your both the arms on the waist.
Haan.
Is it, we have to put them on the waist, or we can put it straight also?
You can put it straight, but if you put it on the waist,
Yeah.
it is it's more simple. I mean, it is
Okay.
easier. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so I'm going into the pranayama part. Now here, last time I have not taught. I have missed this part. I want you all to close one more prana circuit, and that is the tongue. You see, the tongue does not have any. It's a free thing like your hand. The hand you are going to do a mudra and close it. The legs you are going into Padmasana. What about the tongue? So the tongue, what you do is you take the tip of the tongue and touch the back of the top roof behind the teeth like this. When you do that, that prana circuit is also closed. So this is something that I have forgotten before. So, but please, now you all need to remember this, that when you do pranayama or any form of yoga exercise or yoga activity, you must always close the prana circuitry. And the prana circuitry is at three places: the tongue, the hands, and the feet. So these are the most open. These are the most open parts, and those need to be closed. So yes,
Sir,
Milinji, please tell me.
can you repeat the tongue part, please?
Okay, see, what are the various parts of your body which do not have a closure? Okay, that is your hands, your feet, and the tongue. The tongue is loose; it is open. Now, in order to close the flow of prana, you need to you need to touch the tongue you have to earth it to some other place so that the flow of prana is natural. So you need to take the tongue and take it behind the teeth on the upper roof of the palate like
Okay.
that.
It is not to be it is not to be turned backward. No, it is only to be
No, no,
turned to
no, no,
the
no, no.
front. Okay,
That is
okay, okay. Thank you,
that will
sir.
be
Thank you.
very difficult, and you
Yeah,
will lose your
yeah.
concentration. You won't be able to do pranayama.
Yeah.
This
Now I
is
understood.
simply when you keep your teeth, your face, your mouth closed. Just take your tongue up and touch the back of the teeth on the roof of the palate.
Okay, understood, sir. Thank you.
So from the bottom jaw, the tongue touches the upper jaw. That's all. It's simple. So that what happens is that the prana circuit is closed and the tongue is not just flapping inside the mouth.
Okay,
So the
okay.
tongue is positioned and the prana circuit is closed.
Thank you, sir.
So anybody else has a doubt? Okay. So now uh, I want to ask another this is a very important question, that now that you all have been practicing for more than 2 or 3 weeks, are you all able to feel the various parts of your body when you are practicing pranayama? Are you all able to feel? Are you all able to feel the air moving at the nostril, the air moving at the bridge of the nose, the air moving around the face, inside the nasal cavity, going into the throat, into the chest? Are you all able to feel the abdomen relaxing? And are you all able to feel the breath as the base of your spine, where the coccyx is? Are you all able to feel that these things in when you all are doing pranayama? So if you are not able to feel it, please tell me. If you are able to feel it also, you can please tell me what your experiences are. Is there anybody who wishes to share their experience?
Uh, could I share what I
Please,
felt?
please, please.
So for me, of course, last class I couldn't attend, which I feel very bad. But the week before last, like I had mentioned, for me that bit of the breath moves the body. That has
Mm,
is going so deep into me that
mm,
now I'm able to somewhat in baby steps figure out that breath is different from prana. That itself is sinking into me in a very different way, and how whenever I see something, whenever I hear something, there is this awareness that I'm not doing it, the prana is doing it for me. So that is a very beautiful small awareness which is coming into me, and I feel really good about it. It's really nice, that bit. And when I do the pranayam, I can feel the prana from the base of the spine. I am not still not able to figure out the different parts like how you outlined now, but there is this feeling that the prana is coming from there and then it goes up and it spreads all over the body and then it goes out. Yeah.
are you able to feel the abdomen relax and fall whenever you breathe in or
Yes.
breathe out? Okay, that's
Yes.
all. That is the only thing that is required. I mean, are you able to feel the chest go out and come in?
I can feel the abdomen. I haven't still focused on the chest.
No, you just have to follow. You become an observer. You have
Okay.
to observe. That's all.
Yeah.
And if you're observing, okay, then are you able to relax the eyeballs? Are you able to relax the head? Are you able to relax the cheeks,
No, not yet.
nostrils?
No, not yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
I
okay.
just feel the
Any?
whole body loosening up right now.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Is there anybody else who has any feedback? Yes, Milanji.
Sorry, I am asking more question today. See, one thing I want to ask you is that
Mm,
when I am holding the breath after exhaling, that means when the stomach is in,
mm,
that time, I don't know, but I feel little bit instead of a relaxation in that abdomen, it appears. I mean, it likes to be a little bit tight. That means that there
mm.
is no air, there is no breath inside. So, but I'm holding it. So when I'm holding it, the stomach muscles, or you can say the inside, it appears little bit tight for that particular period. Is it okay, or I have to relax the stomach that time?
See, the most important part of pranayama is that you are making a reflex breathing into a conscious breathing. This is the most important thing that you must understand. In a reflex breathing, breathing happens. In a conscious breathing, also breathing happens. But you are observing the breath and you are controlling it without doing what we call jabardasti. That is, you don't force it to happen. So, when you do Bahira Kumbhaka or Kumbhaka on the outside, what happens is that you breathe out and then you just let it be. Now, when minute you just look at the Kumbhaka on the outside, don't try to be conscious that there is no breath inside the lungs, which is not correct. In each breath, you are only taking 500 ml of air inside or outside. As you practice, it might go up to 1 liter, but never will it go to complete capacity because your entire lung capacity is 3.5 liters. You are using only 30 to 40% of your lung capacity in pranayama. So so you don't have to worry that you are actually taking out the breath from your body. That is not important because it is not the truth. The truth is that as you practice pranayama, two things happen. One is you become conscious of the way the breath is going, the way the breath moves in the body, and the way the breath is becoming part of you. You become conscious of it. The second thing that happens is that the volumetric efficiency of your body, because what is happening is that since you're inhaling and exhaling, there are a lot of pockets of alveoli in your lungs. Those are small sacs which have not been used since you were born. Those begin to start getting energized. So what happens is that your lung capacity actually begins to increase. Your breath, your ability to transfer more breath or you oxygenate yourself increases. When your oxygen content in the blood increases, the radicals, that is free oxygen, will go down. When that happens, a lot of the toxins start coming out of the body. So you don't have to worry. The practice of pranayama, but please continue to do. So I'm going to now, okay, Ramon sir, you had asked for a question. I mean, you want a question to be answered.
Yeah, yeah. Can I ask a silly question?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
I didn't
There are no silly
understand.
questions, sir.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't understand what exactly you mean by relaxing. I don't. I mean that word relax. When you say are your eyes relaxed, I don't know what it means.
Okay. Now, um, now you got the eyeball here, right?
Yes.
Now, what happens is that you very often you'll find your eyeball is tired or your eyeball is stressed out. There is light and things like that. Then, when you look at the eyeball and then you just tell it to relax, you will find that the eyeball actually begins to the muscles stop holding the eyeball taut and they begin to let go.
Oh,
And when they let go, you will actually find your eyeballs becoming free within the sockets. You can actually experience it.
okay.
So why don't you try it? I'll start the process of pranayama now. So we are going to do two things. One is the relaxation as well as following the breath. So I'm going to please close your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Be aware of your body. Be aware of the body. Be aware of the breath. Now, relax the brain. Relax the front of the brain. Relax the left side of the brain. Relax the right side of the brain. Relax the back of the brain. Relax your eyes. Relax the eyeballs. Relax the nose. Relax the nose. Relax the cheeks. Relax the cheeks. Relax the throat. Relax the throat. Relax the shoulder. Relax the shoulder. Relax the chest. Relax the chest. Relax the back. Relax the back. Relax the abdomen. Relax the abdomen. Now observe the abdomen go in and go out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Observe the abdomen's movement. Don't force it, just observe it and let it move. Now observe the way the breath goes in and out as the abdomen goes in and out. Observe the breath going through the chest. Let the breath, observe the breath at the nostril. Observe the breath at the bridge of the nose. Observe the breath flowing through the neck. Observe the breath in the chest. Now just let the breathing happen without any intervention. Just observe. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back. Is there any feedback from this experience?
Sir, I have.
Yes. Yes, Minu madam.
Sir, I am really, really despondent and totally in despair because I'll explain. All your instructions first began. I'm not blaming the instruction. I'm just saying my inability to do it. Okay. Your instructions began saying that relax this part, that part, that part. Okay. First of all, just as Mr. Ramon sir had asked you, and you explained what is relax. Okay. But either my body is completely defiant, refuses to obey me. Second of all is that these parts that you talked about, like the front part or left part, I'm not able to distinguish them as separate parts. One. Second is, one is the relaxing part. And then the next thing, after making everything relax, you said observe. Okay. Both of these are my bugbears because I really, though I may theoretically understand what you say, when I try to implement it, literally there is no difference. My body is just sitting. Even if I tell myself to relax, I don't relax, I observe. There is no perceptible difference. Okay. So I feel like, what the hell? Why are you not listening to me? And it's not listening to me. So, so I just don't know. I'm just sitting here while all of your class is going on, and I'm so much frustrated.
No. 1 minute. Don't get frustrated. The issue is very straightforward. It is just that it's not clicked. That's all. It's not that you are not able to do it. Either you are not able to recognize it, or it is happening and you are not able to feel it. It is not as if see, something has to click sometimes. Sometimes what happens is the communication happens again and again and again, and then something else will happen and click this. Say, like for instance, Jayashree madam just said that there was something about the breath moving the body, and it clicked for her. So, like that,
She's
it's
very
something.
advanced student.
No. You're also there. There's just not. It is just that you can't cognize it. See, let me try and explain to you what I'm trying to do. Okay, prana is motility. Anything that moves the body. Prana is moved by 3 gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas. To move that, now in order, if you relax it, what happens is that the sattva guna increases. When that happens, the prana begins to flow without impeding. Now, what happens is if your body is tight, then what happens is that it's in tamas or rajas. Now, when the body is tight, what happens is that it presents a resistance to the body or to the prana, the flow of prana, which is why prana is called a vayu. All forms of prana are vayus or flows. So, what I am trying to do is to bring your muscles to neutral gear. When your muscles come into neutral gear, what happens is that there is no forcing of the movement of the muscles. Then what am I trying to say? I'm saying just observe the breath when it goes in and out. Why am I saying that? Because when the breath is going in and out and there is no resistance, when the air or the breath is coming in and going out, the thing that happens is that because there is no resistance, first of all, your volumetric efficiency increases. Your ability to cognize the movement of the breath within the body increases. Now, actually, it is happening to you also. But what is happening is that you're trying too hard. See, the problem is that you're probably relaxed already. Now, you want to relax it more, it is not going to happen. Your body can relax only up to a particular point.
But
So,
why
when
can I
you're
not recognize that I'm relaxed? I'm not able to recognize any difference between when I tell my eyes to relax or whatever head to relax, and before I said the relaxing, that direction, that instruction. Before that, however it was, it's the same way after saying that also. So there is no perceptible difference.
Okay, can
Is
I
what
ask you
I'm
a
trying to
personal
say.
question? Can I ask you a
Yes.
personal question? Are you one of those people who's stressed out? I mean, who are you a chilled out person?
I'm not perpetually stressed out, but yes, like every human, I also go through stresses and not being stressed. But I'm not a chronic stressor,
No, no.
nor
Are you a
a.
chilled out person? Are you generally chilled out about everything?
Um, I'm not even chilled out. I'm not that extreme either. I'm like in the neutral gear.
So if that is the case, then I think it's essentially one. Okay, now the second part. Now this is where now for okay. Let me stop here and go to the pranayama, the nadi shuddhi part, because otherwise the class will go on
Yes,
interminably.
yes, yes.
So let us do the nadi shuddhi part, and then we will come back
Okay.
because the next part which we are going to talk about, maybe some of the behavioral patterns as we go into yama and niyama, those will click. Those will, so don't give up. Keep trying. You see
Okay.
somewhere that there will be a trigger. That trigger is missing. So the minute that trigger hits you, then everything will fall in place. So it's like a domino effect. So you're just waiting for that one little what do you call kachada to be removed out of the drain. The minute that kachada is removed, that everything will come out, and then you will be able to you will have a flushed light. So you don't worry about it. It will happen.
Okay. Okay.
You have to have faith in yourself, have faith in yourself, and be kind to yourself. The thing is that there's no need to beat yourself up. These things are all about learning. So sometimes somebody will learn faster, sometimes you are actually there but you are not able to recognize it. So that's it's okay. I mean, these things happen.
Okay.
So let's start with nadi shuddhi pranayama. I am going to assume that you understand the basics, that you hold your hand like this, close your nostril, you take breathe in, hold, breathe out from the other nostril, hold. Breathe in from the right nostril, breathe out through the left nostril. I mean, hold, breathe out to the through the next left nostril, hold. Okay. So please put your fingers, and then I will give the instructions, and you all can try that out also. But don't forget, keep a back erect, try to keep your body relaxed so that there are no stresses, so that you are able to get the full benefit of the Nadi Shuddhi. Okay, so I'm going to start 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in from the left, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 2, 2, 3. Breathe in through the right. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the left. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the right. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in through the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax. Now, is there any feedback? Is there
So
any
I
feedback?
just have a question.
Hmm.
When breathing,
Hmm.
there is a little bit of conflict I face whether I should observe the breath going up the spine or the breath at the tip of the nose.
At the tip of the nose. Nasika gray. Even Sri
Okay.
Krishna says it should be at the Nasika gray.
Okay. Thanks.
So the reason for that is if you try to observe the breath along a length, it becomes very confusing and very difficult. However, when you're observing the breath at only one point, that is then it's easier to control it. Because another thing is if you control the breath at the nose, then you can actually ensure that there is no flutter, there is no breaks, and then the flow is normal.
Okay.
The important thing is that you must also be conscious of the abdomen, because what happens is that very often the breathing is done by the chest. If you breathe only through the chest and not use your abdomen, you are not using your the movement, full diaphragm of the full movement of the diaphragm. When you don't use the diaphragm fully, then you are not getting the full benefit of pranayama. So very often what I do is I do some here, and then afterwards I observe here. And what I do here, the observation here I do here is I just the same thing. I ignore what is happening at the nose, but I then try to make sure that the flow, the movement of the abdomen is regular, and the breath is without any breaks, and the flow is regular. So it's a bit of what you call, you have to experiment a little bit. But at the end of the day, you must remember one thing: you can get the best benefit out of pranayama only when the whole body is involved in the process of breathing. Is there anybody else who has a question? Yes, sir. Anand sir.
Yeah. So what I am seeing is I am able to observe right through. I try to follow from the nostrils right up to the head, and then while exhaling, I'm able to follow the breath. Sometimes I get lost in thoughts, but otherwise, the throat and then the chest and then the abdomen. So that is okay, right? You can follow
Yeah.
in that order.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely.
Sometimes, of course, you get lost, like you told the other day, in thoughts running here and there. I try
Mm.
to bring it back. So it is okay to look at all the parts, not necessarily like the nostril or the abdomen, like you said.
Correct. It's absolutely all right. See, the problem today is we are all in what we call a scattered state. So, what is happening is that all of us are struggling with what is happening around us. We get very distracted. And then when you are talking about something like the breath, which forces you to go from outside to inside, you begin to then struggle with something that you have never done before. And when you are doing, when you're going from vijnana to jnana, then the problem becomes one of the external environment. The anchors are now beginning to impact your sense of identity or asmita. So you need to, these things will happen. So we will be continuing. In fact, I'm planning to
Thank
take some amount of this into the next this of yama and niyama, and how the consciousness is moving when
you. Yeah.
you're doing various things and activities.
Thank you.
While I wanted to just ask another question, because today morning I was just folding clothes, and when I found that I couldn't fold one particular dress properly, I got very irritated. So I wanted to ask you all, how often do you all uh, get fully involved, or the breath plus the consciousness, you are able to work like that carrot exercise we did before? So have you all been trying to do that? What is your experience?
I am able to do a few times. Morning, of course, I do it 15, 20 minutes, surely, as soon as I wake up. Then during the day, so many other things are there, grandchildren and all. So it is a little tough, but I try once or twice.
What
I would
about
say
when
that.
you're brushing your teeth?
Oh, I've never tried. I think I should bring the mind to that. Yeah.
So it is not as if it is mutually exclusive. No, yoga is
Yeah.
not exclusive. Yoga
Yeah.
is a way of living. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're having a bath, when you're rubbing soap, what prevents you from saying relax, relax when you're rubbing soap? Nothing. You're only stopping yourself from evolving to that level. No.
But when brushing the teeth and all, how will you, I mean, you're trying to follow the breath at that time?
No, no,
Kind of.
no. You're just aware. The thing is,
Okay.
you remember we
Okay.
did the carrot. We did the
Yeah.
carrot thing. All your focus went on the carrot. Your
Right.
breath, your attention, your prana,
Right.
everything,
So like
and
that.
you're able.
Okay.
You're cutting.
Okay.
So what stops you from doing that when you're brushing your teeth, or you're having a bath, or whatever, changing your clothes, folding clothes?
Sure.
Why is it that you're not able to implement it
Yeah,
at
I
that
think
time?
we have to bring it into our practice on a regular basis. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'll
Because when
really
you do
attempt.
that, when you sit for pranayama, then automatically your consciousness begins to work in that same. It because it's now a way of living.
True. I think the mind control will become better that way. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there
I was
anybody
able
else?
to feel that when I was washing my tea mug this morning.
Very
So I
nice.
put all my, it was not a forced thing. It was just I was looking at the mug, I was looking at the way my hand was moving, I was looking at the colors on the mug. It was so many things at one time, but it was all about the mug and the washing. I felt
Correct.
very
So
good.
the thing
Yeah.
is that you get into a tunnel situation where
Yes.
everything else is zoned out, and
Yes.
you are zoned in with what you are doing.
And it was such a beautiful experience and it was not forced.
Correct. But
Yeah.
now it has to become a habit.
Yes.
And as you all know about habit, it's HABIT. If you remove H, a bit remains. If you remove A, bit remains. And if you remove B, it remains. So if you practice, what happens is it will remain with you. And so, is there anybody else who's been doing this?
Sir,
Yes, Meenu madam.
sir, she just said about washing a tea mug and then thinking about it. But I thought that until now I had always heard that a person who is not able to do two things at a time is considered like dumb. And only you have to be a multitasker to
Oh
do
yeah,
like 10 things at the same time, and all women are adept and they're very proud of saying that. And the whole world I saw like that. But I have never been able to do that, like doing 10 things at the same time. So I used to think I'm pretty dumb. But here, when she said that she was doing it and zoned into that, I'm sure she wasn't thinking of anything else other than the washing of the mug and the various
yes.
aspects about it, right?
That is
So
called ekagrat.
Yeah. So
Ekagrasya means single point focus.
right, but in that moment, all her other work and everything is suspended, and
Yes.
she is merely, like if I say quote unquote, merely washing the dish. That's all she's doing, right?
That is what you're supposed to correct. In
But then that's
fact,
what we've been told not to do. Like you're the least productive when you're doing just one thing and you're not able to watch the milk boiling and that side something else happening, and the that
okay,
kind of
let me
thing.
let me change the perspective. Suppose you are boiling the milk, making chapatis. Okay,
Yes.
you're making chapatis, but the point is your complete focus is on the chapatis. But your subconscious is the ears are tuned to the milk, that sound that comes when it starts coming up. The issue is that you are thinking that I am multitasking. You are not multitasking. At this point of time, that is coming to the front of your consciousness. That consciousness is completely there. It does not mean that the other aspects of your life is completely ignored. That moment you are there, the minute the sound comes, your attention goes there. You obviously you are not going to be able to do any more chapati below fine. No, you have to go and attend to the milk.
Right.
The thing is that when you are there, you are zoned in completely. Your body and your attention is completely with that. It does not mean that it is exclusive. It means that you have got a separate set of rating. You put it at different levels of attention. There is a small seed that you have planted into the milk, which says that when the minute that milk starts boiling, I will get to this and I will switch it off. But now I am zoned in on making the chapatis.
So
So
we are doing only one thing at a time, right? Because when we are
only one
making
thing at a time. Yes, you
yeah,
can't. Otherwise you'll never be able to do it. You see, the problem is that when you are doing multitasking or multiple things, you're stressed out. You're tense that you shouldn't miss something. No.
yeah, that's a different aspect. But the point is from the point of view of productivity. That is why it's so extolled that multitasking. I can do this, that, and the other, and send the kid, and I don't know, cook the
Okay.
food and
Let me
everything at the same.
let me ask you a question. After all that is done, you go and sit in front of the TV.
I personally don't, but
No, no, that's not the point. I'm saying that we all just sit with a book or sit in front of the email and do something like that.
I think this multitasking is supposed to be like has taken the world by center stage. Who can do how much multitasking? Therefore, he is so much better than the other person who can't do any of that.
Let's not get into an argument that is not going to get us anywhere. I'm saying
But
all
we
I'm
are
trying to.
encouraged to do here in the context of our meditation and all that. We are correct me if I'm wrong. We are supposed to only one thing at a time, right?
See, what I'm trying to say is that if you are now changing the way you live. You're changing it from a conscious way, a subconscious way, or multitasking. Call it what you like.
Yes.
Going into one where you are aware of everything that you are doing. If you're aware of everything that you are doing, if you're capable of being aware of 10 things at the same time, zoning into multiple things, great, do it. Then you become Sri Krishna. But most of us cannot do that,
Yes.
right? So most of us are stuck with one or two things which we are able to do. So in order to do that, first of all, you have to plan your time,
Hmm.
and then you have to make sure that at that time you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's what you call time management. Now the thing is that when all of us have our constraints, and constraints are applicable for all activity, either our capability or capacity. So you have to find a way to increase your awareness without increasing stress. Do the task, but make sure your body is in the flow. You're zoned in, and your attention is at a single point.
Thank you, sir. I think it's all again, once again, a matter of practice.
It's all practice. It is all practice. After all, Arjuna did not shoot the arrow on the day one. His focus was continuously there only. No, Only
Thank
then he
you.
was able to get that level of competence.
Yes, thanks.
No problem. Milind sir. Milind sir, do you have a question? Okay, now I am going to go into what we call yama and niyama. Okay, now yama and niyama is basically two things. Now, as I have been always saying, that our awareness is what we are as an individual, is the manifestation of our Purusha, the primordial self that we are. That is the one that is observing, that is everything that is happening around us. In order to feel secure, the most important thing is security. In order to feel secure, we take anchors, we sink anchors everywhere. My mobile phone, my mouse, my computer, all these things become my anchors. Then what happens is, within I have anchors which I am very rarely looking at. My breath, my body, all of that. We have been trying to increase awareness of that over the past few weeks. So the anchors that are outside are called vijnana. The anchors or the awareness of the self is called jnana. The awareness of the external world is vijnana. Now what happens when a stimulus hits you? Something comes from somebody, from external stimulus, and it hits you. How does it hit you? Through the senses, the ears, the nose, and all that. Suppose you go and buy that carrot. First you touch the carrot, so your sense of touch. Then you look at it, sense of color. Then after that, you talk to the other person and ask him or her how much it will cost. Then you hear it, and then afterwards you come home and you bite it. So you have the sense of taste, etc., etc. So that gives you a stimulus as to whether on the nature of the carrot. Now, because you have been taught from childhood that the nature of the carrot is this, that becomes, so you are able to judge whether it is a good carrot or a not a good carrot. Now, all of this is external to the self. So, if for instance you are in a difficult situation, somebody is hurting you, at that time you start getting agitated. Why? Because your sense of self is being under assault. So what happens? That triggers what is called the amygdala. The amygdala will then trigger the pituitary, hypothalamus, and then the adrenaline will release adrenaline and cortisols for you to face the threat or run away from the threat. It's called the fight or flight syndrome. Now, the thing is that all of this we can control. How can we control? Through what is called yama. Now, when the stimulus comes inside us, we should be able to control inside also, no? Also, very often, there is a lot of desire within us. We want to buy an ice cream. We want to buy something else, maybe a nice, pretty dress. It doesn't matter. The thing is that that desire is coming from within. Now, for as long as the desire keeps coming from within, what happens is that your muscles are constantly stressed out, because that triggers again the same amygdala. And then you're tense and you're saying, how much money do I have? Can I afford to buy a motorcycle? Now, when that happens, you're stressed out because you have created a stress from within. How can I multitask? Now, the thing is that the need, or somebody has told you that the multitasking is a critical aspect of your functionality. So what happens if you are unable to multitask? You stress yourself out, your body starts getting tense, and you're saying, "No, I have to do this is at the same time." When nobody has told you that it should be done, you have actually uh, dumped all that rubbish on yourself. Somebody has told you, but you are the one who can say no. That right to say no, I am not going to be trapped by this constraint, is something that we have. But we don't use it because all the time we need feedback from others for our sense of uh, for a sense of what you call approval. That approval is for our sense of self-worth. To increase or to protect our self-worth, we need feedback. So the thing is that the entire business of yama and niyama is for us to be able to get into a situation where we do not get trapped by these constraints, and we have an ability within ourselves to be able to decide what is the best thing for ourselves. That is called individuality or swatantra. Swatantra means what? It's a complex word called swa plus tantra. Swa means self. Tantra means it's a weave. The actual direct translation of tantra is weave. Weave of what? Weave of our sense of personality with our behavior. So when our personality and behavior weave seamlessly without stress, then it is called swatantra. That means we are truly independent, that we don't have external stimulus forcing us to do certain things. We are actually aware of ourselves in a situation and taking a decision which is appropriate to the situation in a sattvic manner. What is the difference between sattvic, tamasic and rajasic? If suppose something, we get stimulus and we go into a shell, we are scared, we get anxious, that is tamasic. If we get angry or we react, we become ambitious, that is called rajasic. When we are in an even keel, in a harmonic situation, then that is called sattvic. So for as long as we can remain in the sattvic state, then the muscles will remain calm. They will be neutral. I have told you before, the muscles have two parts. One is a stressor, one is a compressor. When you don't have stressor or compressor, the gaps between the muscles are all open, prana can flow, you have a very good life. Now the thing is that yama is the control of that which comes in. Niyama is the ability to cleanse yourself and remain within even keel, be able to understand what is this kind of stimulus that comes in, what is the kind of desires which come out, and to be able to manage that. This is the sum and substance. But the most important thing that you all should understand is that all of this is about awareness. And what is awareness? Awareness is the individual aware, the, the sense of identity looking at you as your consciousness moves out to get all these data, all the data coming into your system and the way it is being processed. The awareness is the only thing that can control the flow of consciousness that hits everything else. Have you all understood? Is there doubts? Now I'm throwing it open for feedback.
So, how I have understood what I heard now is basically all this yama and niyama and the sattvic state, everything will come only when the when the pranayam happens in a proper way, when the inside of the body is calm, when the breath is on even keel, right?
No, see the pranayama, you're doing it in a set situation. A set situation, right? You're in a
Okay.
place where you're calm, everything is fixed. All
Okay.
your other variables are fixed. There is only one open variable, which is yourself and your practice of pranayama.
Okay.
Whereas when you're in the outside world, suppose you're playing with your dog or you're cooking, you're cleaning your mug, at that time suddenly phone will ring, this will happen, that will happen, somebody will have an emergency. At that time, it is all random. If you cannot control yourself in the random variable, when the random variable is hitting you, then what happens is that all the practice of pranayama is of no use. You
Okay.
should be able to remain in the same state of equilibrium in any situation, correct?
Yes.
That's the
So,
business of living. What is
So
the point of
basically, pranayam will help to establish this equilibrium, right?
correct?
Yes.
Pranayama is what
Is
you
a tool
practice
for
in a
this.
no practice. It's a tool, but pranayama is what you practice in a set situation, in a
Okay.
situation where all your other variables are fixed, where you don't have any constraints. The only constraint you have is following the breath. However, I have now
Okay.
expanded the variables by throwing in the random variables. That is, I am saying you should be able to control it. Suppose you are going to catch a bus. You go to a rickshaw fellow and you are telling him, I want to go to this place. And that fellow says it will cost you so much, and you get into an argument with him. You should be able to talk to him without getting angry, without getting afraid, and in equilibrium. That is the right way to live, right?
Yes.
So if you can, so how do you do that? You have to make it a practice. That means pranayama will help you to keep your even keel. And so now slowly when you start getting into various situations, your pranayama will help you to bring that even keel back much quicker than you would
Yes.
otherwise, because you are
Yes.
now aware of the process of living.
Yes.
This entire business we are talking about is the business of living.
Because with pranayama, that sense of calm gets established, right?
It gets established, but then there is no point if it is established only in one place. No, that
Yes.
establishment has to be flowing out into your
Yes.
everyday life, and that
Yes.
is what we are starting today.
Okay, right. Thank you. That's very, very nice. Thanks.
Anybody else? Hello? Has everybody understood what I have said? I would be very surprised if nobody had questions, because it's a very different thing that we are talking about. Milanji.
So what I understood is that, in any situation,
Hmm.
you should be able to keep yourself calm as much as possible. This is what you
Correct.
are explaining.
Correct.
That means if anything is coming to me, for
Hmm.
example, if there is a big noise happening and I am
Hmm.
doing something,
Hmm.
the effect of that noise should not be that much on me that for example, if I'm doing something and the noise is happening at the back of my mind, that
Correct.
noise should not disturb me, and I should I get meet with an accident what I am doing. For example, if I'm drinking a cup of tea and some
Hmm.
noise happens, it should not affect my body in such a way that that tea will spill over in me. This is what
Correct.
I think you have explained.
What I'm no, what will happen is, let us say, take it this way: you're drinking tea. Some car goes and bangs another car.
Yeah,
Your hand will
yeah, yeah,
shake.
yeah,
The tea will fall on you,
yeah.
and it will be hot. You will get hurt. But what will happen is that you will not lose your balance. You might lose your balance a little bit and say, "Oh, yeah, whatever, whatever." But then quickly you are able to come back, and you are able to look at it in a more impersonal manner. This is what I'm trying to develop, is called Vivekam and Vairagyam. Vivekam is the ability to discriminate between permanent and temporary, value and non-value. Vairagyam is dispassion. That is, you're able to step back and look at yourself like a lotus in a pond. It will, if somebody throws a stone, the water will fall on the lotus, but it will slip off. And that is what we are going to try and develop.
Okay.
Okay, now I want you all to, this is the exercise that I'm going to give for the week. Of course, the practice of pranayama will continue. I want you all to give me, or put up on the group one word or one sentence on what you understand to be ahimsa. So what will happen is, you will write something and I will throw more questions at you. So we will then look at ahimsa as a subject. I think most people know have heard the term ahimsa. Has anybody not heard the term ahimsa? Okay, I'm assuming everybody has heard the word ahimsa. Ahimsa is the first yama. The six ahimsas are, yamas are ahimsa, satya, asteya, aparigraha, brahmacharya, and mitahara. So we are starting with ahimsa. I want you all to please revert to me, put it on the group. I would request even those that are normally quiet to try and participate, because it will be great fun. What you think is ahimsa, and then I will question you, and then you all can come back, and then so what happens is that we have a conversation which becomes interesting. So, would you be willing to do that?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, great. So now what I'm saying is that Meenu madam, keep working on it. Don't give up, because I think you are going to. It is just a matter of time. Don't get frustrated. Just let it go. Be chilled out, and
Sir, my
it'll.
problem is, if I may say so, that
Mhm.
all the theoretical part that you teach, that is very easy for me. Okay, honestly,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it is
the
intellectual.
practical
Yeah.
part, when you say, like you relax your mind and you breathe like this or look at your breath and observe, that's the hardest part for me.
So then
All
leave
the
it. No,
theory is easier.
leave it. Can you relax? Are you able to relax? Leave the
Yes.
breath. Are you able to relax your body?
Sir, the thing is, relaxation is something, as much as I know, is that when maybe say I like music very much, and that's a fact. Okay, so I have this Carnatic music playing here, so I automatically relax because of the music. But I cannot tell my body, okay, now you relax, and then it relaxes. Like telling a dog, sit, and it will sit. Like that, I cannot do. That's what I'm saying.
See, the thing is that your body is like a dog. Let me be honest. It's it is something that you have to bring under control. Now, the control cannot be done uh, overnight. The second thing is you have to give your body yourself some small prizes. Just like you give your dog. If the dog sits down, you will give it a small piece of something.
Yeah.
Like that, you have to give yourself something. Now, the thing is that it is all about reward and recognition. So, slowly, do you sleep well?
Okay, not too well.
Okay, now, when you're before you go to sleep, do this exercise, the relaxation part. In fact, all of you, if you don't are not able to sleep well, do the relaxation. And if you do get up in the middle of the night, please do this relaxation thing again. I can assure you that you will sleep within 30 seconds.
Okay. Okay.
So it happens, at least I'm able to do it. So I don't see any reason why y'all cannot do it. And
It
everything I
worked
do
for me
here,
too.
I'm sorry.
It worked for me too, the
Huh?
relaxing. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a I don't teach y'all anything, or I don't share anything which I don't do myself. So I'm telling you it works. So is there anybody else who has any further questions on the relaxation part? Otherwise we can close down. Okay. With that, I'm going to thank all of you for coming to this session today, and I request you all to please practice, and don't forget to participate in this the ahimsa part. And so, thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend and best wishes. Namaste.
Thank you,
Namaste.
sir.
Thank you very
Namaskar.
much. Have a nice evening, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
very
Pleasure.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.